Hey guys, it's Michelle here, and I hope you guys had a good Christmas and a good New Year. This is going to be the first video of 2025, and how are we going to start it off? By talking about Wuthering Waves Toy 2.0. Okay, before I mention anything, I'm not going to get into the story because, man, it was good. 2.0 for Wuthering Waves has to be one of the best gacha patches I've ever played. It was so good. I haven't done everything yet. I finished the story. I've still got Carlito's quest to do. I've still got the holograms to do and stuff. But man, I haven't been able to put this game down. Like this update, it feels like a breath of fresh air. That's what it feels like. Because if you guys don't know, I haven't really been playing gacha games lately. Like, the only gacha game I've really been playing is Punishing Raven because I've been nothing yet. And then I'm trying Z again now that they've changed everything, so I'm going through that game again, But this update, man, it's what I needed for this game, because Jesus Christ, they changed so much and added so many quality of life, which is so good. Because my main problem with this game, with Wuthering Waves, was that I love the story, I love the characters, and I love the music, and I love the atmosphere. I just hated the grind to make characters, and I still think it's kind of absurd how much it takes in this game just to build a single character. Because I've just finished building Carlito, even though I'm not like level 80 or 90, I don't know what the max levels are yet in this game, I'm like level 70. It's still insane to get these characters to max level. It is stupidly insane, and I do think they could add a little bit more stuff to increase the amount of, like, a little bit more stuff to add to make farming easier, because it is really ridiculous, and I don't think this is the only game that's doing it. Like, while playing Zone Zero, the farming in that is also insane for characters. But man, this patch was phenomenal. I can't say anything else about it. Like, the story from, like, I think it was over 13, 14 pounds. I did not get, like, tired a single time, because don't get me wrong, when a story patch is really long, like these patches are for New Region, Star Rail, I know Genshin did it, but I don't play Genshin anymore, so I know theirs is ridiculous, so are really ridiculously long. Usually there's like an hour into the story, there's an hour section in the story where it's just like, oh, I can't be arsed with this. But in this game, in this patch, they didn't do that, which is great, because it keeps the viewer, the gamer, the person that's playing the game, is so attached and so drawn into the story, which is good. Because that's my main issue with all these fucking games, all the gacha games, all of them Punishing Raven and Zone Zero, is the storytelling and the way they pace it. Because you don't realise how important pacing is to a story until you actually look at different stories in the similar genre game you play. For example, if we look at Star Rail and we look at Wuthering Waves, the pacing is completely different for both stories. We're kind of similar for both stories, but the presentation and the pacing and the overall storytelling of Wuthering Waves is just far better than Star Rail's is, and that is a fact. For someone that's played Star Rail day one, because I haven't quit Star Rail at all, I've taken a break from it, but yeah, nothing in that game is better written than anything in Wuthering Waves, and yeah, it sounds like lies, but it's a fact. Star Rail's story, and I am comparing it to Star Rail because I don't play Genshin, and I'm not going to compare something to a game I don't play, is that Star Rail's story just feels like you're just talking over and over and again, because nothing like dynamic happens, nothing changes with the characters, no facial expressions change, no body movement, nothing. They do like 3 poses in that game, you're not really like interested. In Wuthering Waves, the characters actually feel alive, if that makes sense. For example, Zanny, I love her character, by the way. Like, I haven't been this obsessed with her character, and I can't wait to come out into like Kafka, bro. Like, she's giving me good Kafka vibes. Like, I really want to pull for her, and I probably will. And I probably will spend money on her because I can't wait for her to come out. But yeah, Zanny's a good example. This isn't really a spoiler because it happened right at the start. Is that at the start, where you meet Zanny, you have just a simple conversation with her. You get to know her, stuff like that, see what her job's like and stuff, and then when she starts being formal and stuff, it starts relaxing around you, that's when the pacing picks up, and that's when a bunch of shit happens, because I'm trying my best not to spoil it. But they do such a good job with these characters, because I think they showed off 5 characters. I can't wait. I think they showed off, yeah, I can't wait. I just can't wait. I think this patch is, I think Wuthering Waves 2.0, and I still don't know how to pronounce the region, but this new region's gonna be insane, because I think they've done a good job with all the characters that they've promoted for this patch, which is surprising, because one thing I've always hated on for Star Rail is that the characters they promote, they don't do it justice in the story. They never do. But in this game, every single character they promoted, if it's Zanny, Carletto, the Jester girl, I forgot her name, Phoebe, and Brent, all of them got their own small parts of the story, which is good because it builds upon their characters. It doesn't just make sure this character gets promotion, this character gets promotion, and they give them no story. They give each character's story and depth, because, for example, Phoebe, she's a part of the Order. Zanny is a bodyguard for Carletto's family. All of these characters are in like big higher up positions, or in positions where they are important, and they do a good job to show the facial expressions and show the like emotional behind their fucking decisions. Like one of the biggest things in this story, I think, is how dark it gets. Like Brent's crew and the crew of fools, or I forgot what it's called, but the crew of fools I think it's called. But is that like section where they go that dark into the story, I was not expecting, and it's really good. It's really interesting that they did that, and I'm hoping they do more, because that's one of the things I thought Wuthering Waves was going to be, is have these darker tone type of elements of the story when the game first came out. And obviously I still think this is one of my personal gripes with the game. They need to fix 1.0. Don't get me wrong, everything after the first part when you meet Scar is fine, but that whole section of storytelling is terrible. It needs to be sort of fixed. It needs to be fixed. And I know Xenoblade Zero did that with their recent patch, but I already finished the first arc of Xenoblade Zero before I reinstalled. So I hope they do that with Wuthering Waves. That's my only gripe, and it's probably one of the only things that turn away new players, because that first arc is terrible. But yeah, the way they handle each characters in 2.0, like all the new characters, is so good. Like for example, the Jester girl, I completely forgot her name, the one with the box and stuff. I had no interest in her at all. She looked like the least interesting character to me. But playing as her and seeing her obviously like emotions and seeing why she's like that has like drawn me in. I already got Carletto. I got her last night, but I will be pulling for her. I will be pulling for the Jester girl. For one, I was guaranteed to get Carletto anyway, so I need to lose my 50-50. But yeah, I think the only character I might not pull for might be Bran. And that's not just because he's a male character, it's just generally because if he comes out when Zenny comes out, I ain't pulling for him. Sorry, but I ain't. Because I will be getting Zenny and she'll be one of my main characters, because I won't lie, bro. Even though the character designs for some of these characters in this patch are kind of basic compared to their other characters, the way they handle their like facial features and the extra stuff for their outfits and stuff are really good, and I'm really interested to see where they go. And it looks like we're gonna get like, I think, a little bit of a spoiler here. It looks like either in the next patch, like, we're gonna go to, it looks like we're gonna go to the Thermody in the next patch. So I wonder if we're gonna get a new element for Rover. Because if you guys haven't finished 1.0 from Wuthering Waves, at the end of that, you take a piece of the Thermody's power and obviously you get the Havoc element. So I wonder if we're gonna get another element in this patch, which I'll be down for, but I think depending on what the Thermody in is, might be depending on what element you get. And which is really cool, because I really like having Rover actually be such a fun character to play. And that's one thing I said in my other Wuthering Waves video I made, is that having an actual good main character to play that feels fun and feels actually like a main character is really good. And I still think Rover is the best example of how you handle a main character in a gacha game. One thing I want to say about Rover in this patch is that she actually felt like the main character in this patch, like she does in every single patch. She feels like the centerpiece of the story, which the main character is supposed to be. She feels like, and giving her more voice lines and more dialogue in the stories and hearing her speak more is so good. because I know Rover's voice got a bit of a backlash at the start when the game first came out, but I've always liked it. I will say this though, I feel like female Rover is just better than male Rover, and I think it just comes down to design and preference, because I generally think male Rover looks like every single edgy anime fucking emo kid. That's generally what I think, and I have no interest in male Rover. But female Rover though, she looks so good, and she's so fun to play, and her animations are sick. So yeah, I can't wait for the next patch with Threnodian, because that's where I'm thinking they're gonna go, or they're gonna do what they did with. They're gonna like tease it for a bit, and then they're gonna have another patch where you actually fight the Threnodian, because the Threnodian, the Dreamless in 1.0 was actually such a fun boss fight. Obviously, it wasn't hard, but it was so fun. Like the build up to the Threnodian was one of the best things in the game, and I hopefully we get that. And one thing I do, this is gonna be kind of like a theory crafting section here. But one thing I want, and I don't think it doesn't need to happen because there's no reason, but I would like for like in the next patch, like Rover's pushed to the edge and she's losing, and because she's losing, she goes down to like this really deep mental state. If you guys remember, what's the say example? If you guys remember Lamine in Genshin, where she just defeated Signora and she was having those like black and white lightning coming out of Shogun's palace. Kind of like that, but she's having a really bad mental state and she doesn't know what to do and how to beat the Threnodian. So she goes back to the Black Shores and calls for reinforcements with like the Shorekeeper, Camilla, or something like that. Because that's one thing I do kind of want them to implement, is like having already characters in 1.0 come to this region to help support her. Because that's one thing I've always wanted to see, just like a war kind of thing, and that would be so cool. But I don't think they will do that, but if they do that would be sick. I would love that. Because there's one thing I will say, is that the Black Shores was such it's such a centerpiece of this story now, and I thought it would be, because that Shores is linked to Rover directly, and she's the commander of it. So everything in that Shores is linked directly to Rover. So everything, like if Rover's in support or something, she can call upon those people to help her, which would be cool. So it might just be a little bit of like, yeah, a bit too much, but it would be so cool for that shit to happen. I would love that. But yeah, I just love this patch, man. I'm probably just gonna go back into it as soon as I've done editing this video. And yeah, man, Wuthering Waves, Cura Games, keep doing what you're doing. Your work on this game has been phenomenal. I would rate this patch, even though I haven't finished Camilla's Story Festival, a 9.5. There is one thing that bugs me a lot, instead of it being a 10 out of 10, is that there's a section, this is a big spoiler territory, but there's a section with the dragon on the bridge where I don't like. I don't know if it was just a skill issue or my preference, but that whole area of like going through like the dragon's flames, turning it into echoes, grappling, stuff like that, just felt so clunky. It didn't feel fun to play. That's my only like problem with it. What I would have done, this is just personal preference, I would have just allowed the dragon to breathe fire on the opposite sides of the bridge, and then it's just a swarm of enemies in the middle. Take out all the enemies, then go to a cutscene. That's just my opinion though, but that area just feels clunky to me, and I don't know if it's anybody else, but for me it just feels really fucking clunky. But other than that, I have no really problems with it. I think the story was really well told from start to finish, and I'm interested in the next patch and what they're going to do. I will be summoning for that Jester girl. She looks really damn good. I'm excited to see who comes out next though, because I can't lie, Phoebe, I was never not interested in her at all, but the way she handles herself and the way she's contradicting herself now because she's in the Order and they found out the truth about the Order is really interesting, and I'm really interested to see where that story goes, but I'm also interested to see where Barrett's story goes. But even if I don't pull for Barrett, I'm interested in his story, and obviously that's one thing I do really like with this game. They do such a good job with the companion quests and build upon the characters, so I can't wait for Barrett's story quest specifically. But yeah, there's probably going to be another character, because I'm not going to spoil who you meet at the end, but there's probably will be another character, like, and there's one thing I want to mention, I'm going to go into big spoiler territory here, because I was going to wrap up the video, but we're going to go into big spoiler territory here. I love how we get to play as, I'm presuming she's going to be playing, or each of the resonators that are linked to the Sentinels. For example, Jing Shi, she's a resonator that's linked to a sentinel, and obviously it looks like we're going to get another one in this region, which will be so fun because I don't have Link Jingshi because again, Chun-Li just looked way too good for me not to pull for her, so I skipped Jingshi. I know she's coming back for a rerun, but nah. But yeah, I can't wait for that. But there's one thing I want to know, and I don't know if she's going to be playable in this patch. Are we going to be able to play as the members of the Fraxidus? Because that is going to be the kind of... Because I know a lot of people want Scar, and I think Scar could be a really fun character to play as. And I don't know how to pronounce the name, but the one with the like Sakura petals, she looks really fun to play as well. So I wonder if we're going to get them as playable characters. I think they should be playable, but I wonder how they're going to do it. So yeah, guys, apply Wuthering Waves 2.0 because it really is an eye-opener of what gacha games need to be doing nowadays. Because I've heard ZZZ's latest patch was phenomenal, like one of the best. I quit ZZZ as soon as I got my niece because generally I had no interest in the game, and the way the game was telling the story for the TVs I didn't like. But now they've changed that, I'm gonna go give it another shot. So yeah, I'm hoping that lives up to the hype. But right now, Wuthering Waves is just on its own level. No game competes with its presentation, its storytelling, its music. Oh, the music in this patch was phenomenal. I forgot to mention that. The atmosphere, the listening to player bases, listening to actual complaints about the game that need to be fixed. Like I just said, I did listen to some complaints in this game. I do think the 1.0 bit up until you meet Scar needs to be sorted out. The whole voice line, everything needs to be redone. What they're trying to do with that, it just wasn't presented well and it wasn't told well. So I hope they fix that. One more thing I want to see added is, I don't know if they're adding it in the next half of the update, but that triple or ultimate thing we got in that event, is that permanent or not? Because I can't get it to work and I'm presuming it's not in the game yet. But hopefully that comes in the game because that was actually a really cool mechanic, and that would add to like just do maximalized damage, and it would be really cool. So I hope they do that. But yeah, guys, I would rate this patch a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I did list my reasons in the video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and 2025 is going to be my year, baby, because I do plan on doing a lot this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later in a bit. Peace.